You're born in Mexicali in 1985. Your father lays tile. Your mother cleans houses on the American side when her visa allows it. You grow up in a neighborhood where the houses are concrete block and rebar, half-finished constructions that never get completed because there's never enough money. The border fence is visible from your bedroom window. At night, you can see the lights of Calexico on the other side. Same desert, different world. You're 16 when your father falls off a scaffold, 3 stories, breaks his back. The construction company says he wasn't wearing a harness. He says they never provided one. Doesn't matter. No insurance, no compensation. Just a man in a bed who can't work and medical bills that multiply like bacteria. Your mother's visa gets revoked, some bureaucratic reason nobody explains. Now she can't cross legally. The money stops. You drop out of school and get a job at a body shop, sanding, painting, 70 pesos a day. Your family needs 300 just for rent. You do the math. The math doesn't work. A customer named Chato notices you. He brings in cars with damage that doesn't match any accident. Bullet holes. Blood in the trunk that you're told is transmission fluid. He watches you work, and one Thursday, he asks if you want real money. You're 17. Your father needs medication. You say yes before he finishes the question. The job is simple. Drive a car across the border. The vehicle has a legitimate registration. You have a legitimate border crossing card. You're a student visiting family in Calexico. The story is boring. That's the point. Boring passes inspection. The first crossing takes 9 minutes. The agent asks 3 questions. Where are you going? How long? What's your relationship to the vehicle owner? You answer calmly. He waves you through. You park the car at a storage facility in Calexico, walk back across, and Chato hands you 2,000 pesos. You just made a month's wages in one morning. You don't ask what's in the car. You already know. You make 6 more runs. Different cars. Different crossing times. Always during day shifts when traffic is heavy and inspections are rushed. The trick is looking exactly like what you are, a kid visiting family. Not nervous, not excited, just bored. Bored is invisible. The 8th run gets flagged for secondary inspection. Random selection. They pull the car apart, find the compartment welded under the rear seats, 30 kilos of cocaine in vacuum-sealed bricks. You're sitting in a holding room when a DEA agent walks in. He's got your file, 7 previous crossings, always different vehicles, all connected to the same network. He explains federal conspiracy charges, mandatory minimums, 20 years. Then he slides a card across the table. Or you work with us, you give them Chato, you testify, you walk, you think about your father, about 20 years in an American prison, about what happens to informants. You tell the agent you want a lawyer. They hold you for 6 hours, then they release you. No charges. You cross back into Mexico confused. Chato is waiting at the crossing. He knows everything. The arrest. The DEA offer. Your refusal. The cartel has people inside the port of entry. They knew you'd get caught. It was a test. Loyalty isn't proven by success. It's proven by silence. Chato takes you to meet his boss, a man named El Ingeniero, the engineer. He's 40, wears reading glasses and polo shirts. Looks like someone's accountant. He used to work for the State Water Authority. Knows everything about underground infrastructure. He switched careers when he realized the real money wasn't in water permits. He explains that surface crossings are 19th century thinking. Random inspections, drug dogs, X-ray machines. The future is under the fence. He's building a tunnel. Needs someone young, small, smart enough to handle logistics. Someone who already proved they won't break. You start the next Monday. The entrance is inside a house, 3 blocks from the border. The exit will be inside a warehouse in Calexico, The distance is 800 meters. The tunnel will run 30 feet below the surface, below the sensors, below the ground-penetrating radar. You're not digging. The cartel has mining engineers from Sonora for that. Your job is logistics. Excavated dirt has to disappear. You coordinate dump trucks that spread soil across construction sites throughout Mexicali. Each truck makes the load look like normal construction waste. You manage the air supply system, PVC pipes running to the surface disguised as irrigation lines. The tunnel is 7 feet tall, 4 feet wide, reinforced with timber from a legitimate lumber yard. You work 18-hour days, sleep in the house, never leave. The tunnel advances 3 feet per day. After 6 months, you break through into the warehouse basement in Calexico. The connection is perfect. You built a highway underneath the most fortified border in the world. El Ingeniero celebrates with the crew, bottles of expensive tequila, envelopes of cash. You get $20,000, more money than your father made in 5 years laying tile. The tunnel operates for 11 months, moves 3 tons of product per week, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine. The loads go through at night, small crews, in and out in 40 minutes. The warehouse on the American side looks legitimate. Furniture storage. The trucks that pick up have bills of lading for Los Angeles, Phoenix, Las Vegas. The money flows backward, cash, millions compressed into bricks and vacuum sealed southbound through the same tunnel. You meet a girl, Lucia. She works at a pharmacy near the crossing. You tell her you work construction. It's not technically a lie. You take her to dinner, movies, the beach. You try to build something normal around the tunnel. But normal has a weight limit. You can't tell her where the money comes from. Can't explain why you disappear for days. The relationship has a ceiling built into it from the start. Border Patrol finds the tunnel on a Tuesday morning. Anonymous tip. Some crew member's girlfriend who got beat up and decided revenge was worth more than silence. You're in the warehouse when you hear the boots upstairs. You run into the tunnel. Halfway to Mexico, you hear the explosion. Concussion grenades. The tunnel collapses behind you. You make it to the Mexican side. Crawl out through dust and smoke. The house is surrounded. Mexican federal police, army, Americans watching from the border side. El Ingeniero is gone, disappeared before the raid. His boss isn't. El Patron decides someone has to pay for the loss. 11 months of revenue, $3 million in product seized, the infrastructure investment. Someone talked. Someone always talks. They narrow it to 3 possibles. You're one of them. They take all 3 of you to a warehouse. You know what happens in warehouses. They don't ask questions. They make examples. El Patron watches while his men work. You're the youngest. They start with you. Break your hand with a pipe. You scream, beg, swear you didn't talk. They don't care about truth. They care about fear. One of the other men breaks, confesses, says his brother-in-law was DEA, says he gave them the tunnel location. They kill him slowly, make you watch. Then they let you go. You're not innocent. You're useful. They give you a choice. Run and we'll find you. Or build another tunnel. You choose the tunnel. Not because you're loyal. Because you're terrified. The second tunnel takes 8 months. You know the process now. Every step, every system. This one is deeper, longer, better ventilated. You install electric rail cars. LED lighting. It's not a tunnel, it's engineering. You're 24 and you're building infrastructure that moves $1 billion a year. Your father dies while you're underground. Heart failure. You find out 3 days later. Miss the funeral because you can't surface without permission. You stand in the tunnel and cry in the dark where nobody sees. Lucia leaves. Finds out what you really do, not the details. Enough. She doesn't lecture, just packs her things, says she wants a life where she doesn't wait for bad news. You don't blame her. The second tunnel operates for 14 months. They find it the same way. Someone talks. This time, you're not there when it collapses. You're managing a third tunnel, then a fourth. You become the specialist, the only person who's built more than one. You know the geology, the engineering, the security protocols. You're valuable. That's good. Until it isn't. You're 31 when the soldiers come. Not federal police, army, new government. They raid the house while you're inside. You surrender immediately. No point running. They take you to a military facility. You don't get a phone call. You get a hood and plastic restraints. They want information, locations of other tunnels, names of engineers, suppliers, distribution networks. You tell them everything, not because you're brave enough to resist, because resistance means torture. They transfer you to federal prison, protective custody because talking carries a price. You're in a cell 23 hours a day. The hour outside is alone in a concrete yard, no other inmates, no programs, no visitors. You exist in a box. You hear what happens to the organization. El Patron arrested, his brother killed, the network fragmenting. The tunnels you built get destroyed, filled with concrete, the houses demolished. You helped build something that moved billions. Now it's rubble and arrest records. You're 36 when they release you. Sentence reduced for cooperation. You walk out with nothing, no money, no contacts, no skills that translate to legitimate work. You're an expert in something that only exists in the criminal world. You move to Guadalajara, far from the border. Get a job at a construction site, carrying materials. The foreman doesn't ask about your past, pays you daily, cash. It's enough for a room and food. You're invisible again, but different than before. Before you were invisible because you were young and useful. Now you're invisible because you're used up. Sometimes you dream about the tunnels, the darkness, the sound of your breathing in confined space, the weight of earth above you. You wake up gasping. Somewhere near Tijuana, right now, a kid is learning to drive cars across the border. He's got a sick parent, bills that don't stop, a boss who's watching him carefully, testing his silence. That kid thinks he's found a way out. He hasn't. He's found a tunnel. And every tunnel has the same ending. The only variable is how deep you dig before it buries you.